What does it take to plant a forest and, at the very same time, grow a future for a whole community? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into with this incredible Rotary Global Grant project called Trees for Nepal. It's a remarkable plan for sure, but its structure is a masterclass in how to create change that actually lasts.
And that subtitle, Planting Fruit, Growing Futures, it just perfectly nails the project's dual mission. This isn't just about giving people resources for today. It's about cultivating long-term economic opportunity and building resilience for an entire community from the ground up.
At the very heart of this project is a big, tangible number, 10,000. That's the target, 10,000 fruit and nut trees. And that's not just some vague, nice-sounding goal. It's a specific, measurable objective that acts as the anchor for everything else we're about to explore.
So where is all this actually happening? We're talking about Shillong in the Dolakha district of Nepal. And grounding the story right here is so important because this isn't some abstract idea. This is a real place with real people facing very specific economic and environmental challenges. That's precisely where this project is designed to make a difference.
Okay, so to really get this, we have to start with the why. This project wasn't just dreamed up in some boardroom far away. Nope, it was born directly out of the challenges and the needs that were identified by the people of the Shillong community themselves.
And what's so fascinating is how specific these needs are. Through a community assessment, people were very clear. They needed sustainable ways to earn a living, specialized training for their unique high-altitude environment, and this is crucial. They wanted long-term support. They didn't want another one-off project. They wanted a real investment in their future and a way to make sure the trees they plant actually survive.
So, you've got this very specific list of needs from the community. How do you possibly address all of them? Well, that's where the Trees for Nepal project comes in. It was designed from the ground up to be a direct and comprehensive answer to every single one of those challenges. So what is Trees for Nepal officially? You'd call it a community-based reforestation and livelihood project. But listen to those key words, livelihood and resilience. The goal here is to improve food security and income for over 1,000 households. Think about that. That creates a ripple effect that strengthens the entire local economy and the ecosystem. And the objectives? Man, they are crystal clear. Beyond those 10,000 trees, they're building a local nursery and a model farm to serve as a hub for knowledge. They're going to train 100 farmers directly, tackle environmental issues like soil erosion, and ultimately give the community the tools to own its own future.
A great idea is one thing, but a great strategy is another. So let's look at the implementation. How this whole thing goes from a seed of an idea into a sustainable, long-term reality.
The whole process is broken down into these really smart phases. It starts with the people, right? Mobilizing the community and selecting the farmers. Then they build the infrastructure, the model farm and nursery. After that comes the training, which is so crucial. That leads to the actual distribution and planting of the trees. And then, finally, step 5. This is where the real innovation kicks in. GPS-based registration and constant monitoring to make sure it all succeeds. And of course, you gotta ask, how is this all funded? The total budget is just over $91,000. You can see the largest portion goes directly into supplies and agroforestry, the trees, the tools, all of that. But what I find really telling is how much is dedicated to operations and, importantly, to monitoring and evaluation. That shows a serious investment in making sure this project works and improving its impact. Okay, this slide is one of my favorites because it captures the project's unique genius. It's this perfect blend of high-touch and high-tech. On one hand, you have that deep, personal, boots-on-the-ground community engagement, practical training, sharing local knowledge, and follow-up support. And on the other hand, you have this cutting-edge accountability with GPS tracking for every tree, satellite imagery, and modern data systems. It is truly the best of both worlds.
Now, a project this ambitious doesn't just happen in a vacuum. You can't do it alone. It takes a powerful partnership. So let's look at the global team that came together to make Trees for Nepal a reality.
Just look at this lineup. It's incredible. You have Rotary clubs from both the Netherlands and Nepal handling the coordination and local oversight. Then you have local expert organizations like ISARD for community engagement and the Green Intelligence for all the technical and GPS stuff. And get this, a Dutch company called Cosine is providing the satellite imagery. This is a truly global effort, with each partner bringing vital, specific expertise to the table.
And what's really important to see is that this partnership wasn't formed overnight. This timeline shows a journey built on trust. starting way back in 2020. It moved forward through years of meetings, site visits, and collaboration. That long-term engagement is what makes this project so strong and so deeply connected to what the community actually needs.
Okay, so we have the plan, we have the partners, but here's the million-dollar question. How do you make sure this creates a lasting impact? How will success be measured, and how will it be sustained for years to come?
The project has very clear metrics for what success looks like. They're tracking how many people get trained and how many young people get jobs. But the most impressive metric, the one that absolutely blew me away, is the target for seedling survival. They aim to increase the survival rate from a typical 35% to over 80%. That's not just an improvement, that is a complete game changer. And here's exactly how they'll prove it. This table connects each success metric to a specific, reliable data collection method. You can see that blend again, traditional reports combined with high-tech satellite imagery and GPS data, plus on-the-ground observation. It's a robust system designed for total accountability.
But what happens when the grant money runs out? That's always the big question, right? Well, the end goal here isn't dependency, it's ownership. The project is explicitly designed for long-term sustainability. When the grant period is over, the assets, the nursery, the tools, the knowledge, all of it will be owned and managed by local farmer groups. This ensures the future is truly in their hands. And that leaves us with this one last thought. You know, the Trees for Nepal project is about so much more than just planting trees. It's a model, a blueprint for effective, community-driven development. It really makes you wonder, what kind of future can we all plant when global partnerships like this truly take root?